size of the portfolio. So for example, 75,000 divided by 0.15 equals a £500,000 portfolio. Has anybody in the room got over £100,000 equity in the house? Do you realise you might be sitting on financial freedom? Anyone got over 150,000? Okay, that's nearly, what's that? What's 150,000 divided by 0.15? That's £1 million. That's £1 million portfolio. Going up at 10% a year, that's 100,000 a year. Even if it was going up 8% a year. Most people don't even realise this, but they're sitting on financial security, financial freedom if you do it the right way. And that's what happened to my mum. So we took her portfolio, her existing property, and after a lot of blood and sweat, she couldn't do it herself because of her illness, but I managed to go on and help her release the money out. We took £180,000 out of her house, we did that with it, and built her in 3 months. It took a bit longer than I wanted, £750,000 worth of buy-to-lets, which is now at 1.6, 1.7 million, with several £100,000 worth of equity. And from that, we paid this year, and this was the whole point, we paid this year for her to go and have absolute, spend whatever you want, go first class holiday to Australia and New Zealand. £22,000, £23,000. And guess what? It took me nearly 3 months to persuade her to even do that, because she said, how can I go on a holiday that actually costs more than I ever earned in a year? And people have beliefs that hold them back to do with success. Anybody come across this? Literally they've got a fear of stepping up and going into a place where they can overcome that fear. And for her that was one of those challenges. So it was literally, Mum, let's do this for you. She went first class, she went out to Australia, she hit the hurricane, which was great, in Cairns, so she went through the whole experience. I got a text from her saying, we tried to go scuba diving, but because of Graham's health and my cancer coming through it, they said no, but they've let us go in a little submersible instead. So she went in a yellow thing underwater. She was determined to just go and enjoy everything. And that's the first time they've travelled since both of them have been ill. Dreams come true if you just live in this place and you follow a purpose. Most people don't live with purpose. Most people go to work, they do their 9 to 5. Do you know statistics show that 22% of people that get to 65 are on a pension? Sorry, are still working. 45% of the population is a life insurance company details. Phenomenal statistics. 45% of people are still working. 28% of the population are on state pension, leaving 4% just about getting by and 1% financially wealthy. So when you go to Wealth Mastery and they talk about the 1% group, they're the people that have done something different. And most people wait and wait and wait, and then something happens. It shows up, maybe it's a death, or they lose their job, and then boom, they do something about it. Or they go to a Robbins event, and Tony says, and how quickly can you make a change? But for a lot of people, they think the heartbeat takes 42 years. I mean, the midlife crisis hits people at 25 years of age now, doesn't it? Not 45 years, not 40 years of age. So in the last several years of doing this, what's become really clear to me is that the average person hasn't even got the aptitude to be in this room. They haven't even got the awareness. John's going out to people that can't even afford to put food on their tables. So how can we even get close to explaining to them how important it is to overcome a belief system that came from your parent? Do you know the average child hears the word no 180,000 times between the age of 0 and 2 years of age? This is a statistical psychologist report that said, average child said, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do that. And they've surveyed it, and they said, look, kids get told, no, 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 no. So is it any wonder that most people go from a place of negative first, before positive? So, if you think about the average person outside this room, do you know there's 60 million people outside this room? That means you are having almost a unique experience, because there's nobody else in the rest of the country doing this. So what are you going to do differently with what you've heard from John and myself and David tonight? It's not just going to change your lives, but change somebody else's life. And that was a question I started asking myself about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm helping all these people, but the people that come to see me speak are paying a couple of £1,000 to a company, and I come in and speak and I leave and I change their lives. But they're paying that kind of money. Most people can't even afford to do that. Most people aren't even aware of what's going on here. So about 18 months ago, a good friend of mine and my business associate, who really created the secret combination, sat down in Scotland on a mountain, not far from where my father's ashes are scattered. And we started, when I run seminars, by the way, it's £5 charge to charity for my life years ago. So. We said, what could we do? We have a skill, we know we have a skill to help people grow. What can we do to actually give people a chance to grow personal development Seminars where it's not several £100, but maybe it's just a couple £100 maximum. In fact, we start with a free one, where people can come through and have a whole day of relationships, of health, of understanding values, core beliefs, of dealing with money. The average person doesn't even know how to manage their bank account properly, their own finances. Then touching on things like wealth and understanding the concepts of that as well. All within a day, 11 hours, full on. And we thought, okay, the average person is trying to crack a code, as you said earlier on, this sort of combination, and that's how the whole concept came up. People go, God, what's the secret to life? What's the secret to life? And about 2 years ago, we registered a company called The Secret Combination. Then we went into setting up as a foundation. Secret Combination literally went live in the last 7 to 10 days. There's a website now, which James, those of you that know James, James is working very closely with us, has been avidly working on to get it to go live now, so I have to applaud this man. Fantastic job for that. Give him a round of applause. He knows the depth at which we've gone in to do this. This particular site is an information site. You're not going to go on there and see somebody selling loads of stuff. That's not where we're coming from. I earn enough money, I'm very, very comfortable financially, so is Derry, so we've financed the whole of this to get it to launch. And every single penny that's made after all the costs, so there's obviously overhead costs, and we're very straight about this, so we have costs of getting a venue, as you always do, and we have staff there that are going to help out, but anything else after that is pure profit. It's going out to nominated charities. We've got the CEO of MenCat working very closely with us, because they like what we're doing. They're giving us some nominated projects for next year, specifically kids. We've got a group of people in London who are young disabled children who perform. They're going to be there on the day in December doing some great stuff. We've got a gentleman called Sean Stevenson, who some of you may have heard of, does the stuff with Tony Robbins on Life Mastery, 21-year-old disabled gentleman. Anyone familiar with him at all? He's done stuff with Bill Clinton. Amazing guy, totally physically disabled. He has a motto. He says, if you look at me and you think I'm disabled, then you're the one that's disabled. He said, because I have a belief I can do anything. He's even created a video for lifting weights with Mr. and Mrs. Universe. He's currently doing a PhD, unbelievable character. So he's actually sending over a 15 to 20 minute DVD of him saying, look, welcome to this event, it's going to be unbelievable. We've got Bob Proctor. Who's Bob Proctor? The Secret? Who's seen the Secret video? Phenomenal. Well, Bob's been in touch with us. He's very happy with what we're doing. He's very keen to affiliate with us next year. So he's actually, I just sent him an email last week. He's asked us specifically what we want in the DVD. So he's going to be doing a whole section on attraction. Those of you who've seen The Secret, he's going to be in a specific section for us on the day. This is a full-on day. There's no cost to it. We're doing it as invitation only, and we're really going out to people like yourselves to encourage you to come along. And we're asking, who do you know that would benefit? Because during the course of the day, we're giving people the opportunity, if they want to contribute to one of the causes, and there'll be a whole charity section there as well. And that's how we're going to raise our money. And we're very straight about that's how we operate. Actually, on the site, it's not there yet. James is going to be building this. We're going to review products. So if you're looking at health, we cover everything from health, relationships, we go into meditation, spirit, fun, adventure, which most people forget to include in their lives as well. And we'll review different people. So if anyone in this room that writes products, writes e-books, anything like that you believe can give back, we're going to have them on the site, and we'll do an honest, objective appraisal. So it'll be a little bit like a shopping place for people that want to learn about personal growth, but without any edge to it. It's just a straight, open forum. We have affiliates that are gradually associating with us as well. Next year we're going to run 6 events. One-day events on health, relationships, on money, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on like David Destin, but consolidated into one day. So some very deep value stuff. We're going to do some awesome stuff on relationships. There's not enough of that in the UK at the moment. So it's a big project. We're looking for people to support us, either through your time, through your money, and we're very much open to sort of cranking it up to the next level. So this is a call to arms to everybody in the room. You're all coming from the right place, otherwise I wouldn't be standing here. And you've had your lives impacted massively by people like Tony Robbins. So my challenge to you tonight is, beyond me talking about this, is to think about who you know that maybe can't get along to a Robbins event, or is possibly, whenever you mention Tony Robbins to some people, it's like, yeah, right, because it's the American guy with the big teeth, as Tony would say. And it's a common reaction because people have got a natural, in this country, there's a natural rejection initially to American-style events. True or false? We're different. I think we're going to bring some really good speakers in. We're talking to some very good people. We're wanting to bring in a real balance, some high-profile people into the events next year. That's the goal. But ultimately, it's people like you that are going to make a difference. So it's an English-based event. I'll be speaking for most of the day. We're going to be cranking up high energy, lots of music, chance to